Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Wrestling Travels Lockdown Sessions, brought to you each and every week by our good friends at Wrestle Merch Central over there in London, United Kingdom. They are Europe and the United Kingdom's biggest place for all things professional wrestling. And speaking of all things professional wrestling, I don't have a good segue, but here we got Raven. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, I am all things professional wrestling.
You are. I'm excited. This is we got big names galore. And this has been, I mean, I don't want to, it's been 2 weeks in the making. It's epic. So we're excited to have you, and you have just launched your Wrestle Merch Central store over in the UK and Europe. Tell me what that means to you. That's got to be a little big to you.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I didn't realize it was difficult for the for wrestling fans in Europe to get merch. I figured they just order from Pro Wrestling Tees like everybody in the States did, but I guess not.
Yeah, we did some. I was helping them research, and I think it was sometimes it was almost like $26 in postage and
Eesh.
day wait. So I mean, now you want your Raven gear, you order it and it's there. Well, I mean, maybe now
Buy your Raven crap. Get your Raven crap. Get your hot off the presses, the Raven crap.
There it is, and it's available. And I know they drop
high quality crap.
It is high quality. Now, do you have a say in the quality, Raven?
Sure. Let's say I do. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. That's awesome. So now, are these? I don't know quite. We didn't get a chance to prepare these questions, as it'll be blatantly obvious. But are you?
I didn't prepare my answers either, so it works out perfect.
It'll work out great. Do you have like any of your old stuff that you did in ECW, or any of the? Do you have like classic designs that you can bring back, or is that all copyrighted and owned by somebody else right now?
No, I can pretty much bring back almost all my designs.
All right. Do you have a favorite shirt of yours?
I've had so many. I think that I like the one. I guess ECW probably owns this one, but the one with me and Dreamer, and it says worst of friends, best of enemies.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
That's awesome. So we call this the lockdown sessions because we were. The name is obsolete now. You're the smartest guy I know right now. You could probably come up with a better name for this show.
The post lockdown.
The post lockdown. There we go.
The former lockdown. What do you call it? The lockdown what?
Lockdown sessions.
The sessions formerly known as lockdown.
Formerly known as. I knew it. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. What has this last year during this pandemic? What did you find yourself doing? I mean, how did you keep busy?
Same way I keep busy normally. I mean, other than the weekends when I'd be on the road, it didn't really change much, because I still went to the chiropractor every week, still did, whatever, errands I'm gonna run. I still ran them, go to the grocery store, whatever you got to do. Yeah, and I got to be home. Well, it's actually worked out pretty cool to pot down, not being on the road, because UFC started running shows every single Saturday, and I'm a big UFC mark. So I got to watch that every Saturday night. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now things are starting to pick up. Are you getting yourself back out on the road again?
Yeah, and now I'm like, man, if I'm gonna be on the road this Saturday night, I'm gonna miss the UFC pay-per-view or the UFC shows. But I can just record them and watch them when I get home. But I'll have to make sure nobody spoils them for me on, at the show.
That's the tough thing. Everybody spoils them. I've been guilty of spoiling them accidentally because, oh man, his name's gonna slip my Pettis. When Pettis had his big fight a few years ago, I was pretty fired up and like an idiot, fired off on social media, and all of my friends, both of them, were very upset that I spoiled the fight for them. So, I won't take phone calls during the fights because I'm always like a couple hours behind. Because like I don't watch. I wait till it's like an hour or two in, so I don't have to, wait through the commercials, on the non-pay-per-view shows. And so my friends would be like, "Oh, did you see that fight, son?" I'm like, click. Now, did you watch The Ultimate Fighter, the shows
Nah,
that
it's
they have?
never. I never really watched that. I never got into that.
Okay. I watched it the year they had the women on there, and now watching Rose and a lot of those girls from that season, it's kind of cool watching them have
Were the
success.
women catty like on the show?
Yeah, oh, 100%. And it was awesome because I was living in a place where I didn't have much options for TV. I was out in Pennsylvania, which where ironically I am now for the summer. And that was like the only thing on. So I'd watch it every week. And man, when they started getting into the ring after the show was done, I was like, it was nice to watch some of the ones that were bitchy just get their asses kicked. I enjoyed it. So
We're in Pennsylvania. I'm from Philadelphia.
I'm just north of you. I'm in the Poconos. I'm doing the old Tommy Dreamer and Raven met at summer camp. So they asked me to come back and help out here with their staffing. And I haven't been out here in years, but with the travel bans, they were having trouble with staffing. So they thought they'd call in old JC just to see what I could. Well, Justin Clapper, but
Same thing.
yeah, well, no, I don't know. I think he'd have a better job hiring than I did. It's been tough. It's been tough. So if you get bored, you want to come out and work at kids camp for this, I got a big water slide for you. I mean, come on out.
Beulah used to love the water slide.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. Hey, Even Flow DDT. Did you name that?
Yes.
All right. Because Pearl Jam, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Obviously. Who are you listening to these days?
I just listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't really listen to music anymore. Like, you get to a certain age and you stop listening to current music. Like in your mid 40s, you stop listening to current music. And then you get burnt out listening to this, the 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000s. And I was like, podcasts, man. I love listening to people talk about, make me laugh and shit,
Do you have a podcast going on? Are you on a podcast?
Yes.
Or is that something?
Yes. The Raven Effect podcast.
The Raven Effect podcast. So, and
yes,
you can find it on.
You can find it everywhere, but except Spotify, I think, for some reason. But it's on Monday nights. It's on the MLW network. I mean, it comes out. New episodes come out every Monday, Monday day, or Monday morning. I don't know. They come out sometime on Monday.
So many people. Yeah.
But it's a really entertaining show because it's really has nothing to do with wrestling. It's wrestling adjacent because they'll bring up a few wrestling questions, my co-hosts, but mostly we just talk bullshit and it's nonsensical banter.
Now, what kind of things are you into? Like, if you do you have a podcast, like I know some of them will talk paranormal stuff, and you
we talk about anything. I mean, basically it's like three friends just talking and arguing with each other.
That's perfect. So the Raven
and
Effect.
As you can see, I'm an interrupter. I constantly interrupt and just to make witty or snarky comments. And
I love it.
Yeah, it's I love interrupting people. I don't know why.
I was just talking about you. The last time I saw you was at Starcast 3. And I said, hey, I was going around and getting some happy holidays from wrestlers and wrestling travel. And I think you set the record. You had the longest one.
Some happy endings?
Happy holidays. No, we weren't collecting happy endings that day. That would have been a short day. So we just went with happy holidays, and you had the record for the longest one, and we appreciated it. It was awesome.
What did I say?
So that was in Baltimore. So we're in the United Kingdom. What my travel question of the day is, do you have a favorite in all the places that you've wrestled? Do you have a favorite country or town that you're like, hey, when I go there? I mean, besides obviously Philly, but overseas.
Overseas, I like going to England. I love the UK. I mean, I love the accent. Like I would find it if you had a hot British chick read the phone book, I'd find it sexy.
Dude, I'm the same way. She could be a 5 and she has a British accent. She automatically goes up to like a 7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I did not know that you and I would be so agreeable on everything. This is perfect. This is
total agreements.
Total agreements on everything. So we talked about your favorite t-shirt. I actually thought we would call and set this up today. So you caught me off guard, but I love it. So I was told to ask you about because we're in Manchester.
I
My
thought you were in Pennsylvania.
I'm in Pennsylvania, but Wrestling Travel is in Manchester.
So are you from Pennsylvania or
I'm
you?
from Wisconsin.
I lived in Milwaukee for a year.
Did you really?
Yeah. When I was
So
like 10, my dad goes one day when I was like 9, he goes to me and my sister, he goes, "Hey, we're either gonna move to Milwaukee, Wisconsin or Hawaii. Where do you want to go, kids?" And we said, "Hawaii." He said, "Okay." A week later, he's
Milwaukee.
like, "We're going to Milwaukee, Wisconsin." We're like, "Great."
How did you enjoy those winters or that winter?
It was horrible.
It was horrible. Did you ever make it to Hawaii to live or no?
No, never made it to live.
Okay, but you've made it there for work?
Yeah, I made it to all 50 states.
Oh, fantastic. Do you have a besides Pennsylvania, a state that really stands out for you?
What's that? I love Portland. I
Oh,
wrestled for
okay.
2 years in Portland, and it's gorgeous. It rains every day of the year until the summer, and then it's so beautiful in the summer for 3 months. Then it rains every day, but you get used to. You're so used to the rain, it doesn't even bother you.
Oh, awesome. I was supposed to ask you about your time on a British gentleman, Louis Theroux. Were you on his show or something? I
Yeah,
didn't quite catch the story.
there was an interview he did. WCW when I was in WCW, they said he wanted to interview me. So I met him at, I think it was at the airport or somewhere. Or it looked like the airport. I don't remember where it was, but when I seen it like recently on Twitter, it looks like an airport or a train station or something. But he goes blah. He said, "I'm Louis Theroux," or whatever the hell he said, and and he had no idea who I was. I'm like, why would you interview me if you have no idea who I am? You know, and I totally lambasted him, and
Good.
apparently, like many people, like seem to enjoy that because I guess he's an idiot.
Well, I thank you for not lambasting me too much here.
I'm all out of
Although
lamb. I'm all out of lamb.
all out of lamb. That's awesome. Now, every podcast that are not a podcast, this interview that I do, my boss is always asking me to get, and I refuse to do it. I don't want to get clickbait. I don't want to get dirt, but I see all these other guys that have podcasts and they have this big, oh, Raven said this on this podcast. Do you have a cool, maybe like some type of wrestling story that maybe you haven't told too often that you could share with me so it would make me look cool that I got you to say it on the podcast? I know most people have interview techniques to get to those questions, but we're on a time crunch. So I thought I'd just ask.
Um, Man, I got so many stories, but I've told so many of them. I have no idea which ones I've told more or less. And then nowadays you gotta have to be careful because you get canceled if you tell the wrong stories.
That's
Like
true.
I used to tell stories about sexual deviance and sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but then you get canceled, and then it's like, wow. So and now that also I'm clean and sober, so it's like I don't want to glorify the past because like
Yeah.
that's what made me want to be a drug addict was hearing the rock and roll licentious and ridiculous crazy stories. So that's what I wanted my life to be like that. So and it was, but then I paid for it trying to get off of drugs and having all that kind of hell. So I now whenever I like on my podcast, whenever I tell like filthy stories about my past, then I always try to I always make sure that we give a number for an 800 addicts for addictions people, for addiction recovery number, and so just so people just so people know that you can be a filthy pervert, and drunken idiot, but it's probably better off if you just do it in what's the word I'm looking for? In
Moderation.
moderation. I never knew what that word meant.
I'm glad it could help out.
Yeah, in moderation and not to excess. Like one story, like I did one time we were in the Disney tapings and I did ecstasy like 14 straight nights in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was up for like 87 hours straight at the end. But that might be two different stories in the same thing. And I wrestled after like 80 hour, and like at the 80-hour mark or at a 75-hour mark or whatever it was. It was a Sunday morning, so I had to wrestle. So I was so paranoid, like I'd look at people like, why is he talking about me? And they weren't even talking. Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was fun while it lasted, but then the price you pay is very excessive.
Right. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. I know that I'm hoping
You broke up.
I said I wanted to be very respectful of your time because I know you've got something else going on, and maybe we could do a part two down the road someday. But I want to
Absolutely,
reiterate
absolutely, we can do a part two.
part two, something a little bit longer. But I want to give everybody a chance.
That's
Where
what
can
she said.
she said she could have a part two?
No, she said she wanted it a little longer.
A little longer. Yeah, I get that too. But I never got the hey, I want a part two. It's just, sometimes part one is you. I don't know where I was going with that. We're riffing off each other and you're winning. Where can
It's not a competition. It's not a competition, but you are losing.
but it's see, and even when I'm losing, I'm winning because it's you and I. Where can the fans follow you on your social media, your podcast, and
Oh,
most importantly, that Wrestle Merch Central, all the fans in the UK and Europe.
Wrestle Merch Central, get my merch, buy some Raven crap. You can, it's quality crap. So if you want good Raven crap, that's the place to get it. I call it crap, but it's actually good quality stuff. I just but you feel like a shill when you're trying to sell your stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like,
I hear
it's
ya.
like so. But my podcast is the Raven Effect Podcast. You can hear it wherever podcasts are found. And the only thing I really do is Twitter, and that's and I just make like one post a day, and then I make like I find a picture, and then I make a snarky comment about it, and then sometimes I respond to other people, like if they have snarky answers and snarky or funny or silly. But for the most part, I'm not big on social media. I feel like that it's really more of a pain in the ass than anything.
Right.
But you
I
have
feel
to
like
have some kind of presence on it. So it's at the Raven Effect.
awesome. And Raven back out on the road this summer. So if you're in the States, and hopefully when travel opens up, we can get you back over in the UK.
Oh yeah, I'll be there in April of next year for the Love of Wrestling, I guess.
Oh, perfect. Those are our boys for the Love of Wrestling. So awesome. Well, hey, I thank you for your time today. And I've got it on record that you said we could do a part two. So I will hound you for that. And then you'll block me and everything will be right back to where we were before we started.
I just thought of a great closing catchphrase for you.
Perfect.
This is what you should say at the end. Since your name's James Clapper, you go, "You've just got the clap."
Got the clap. You know what? I think we'll do it. Justin Clapper, and you just got the clap. Perfect. Yeah. Come for the interview, stay for the clap.
There you go.
All right. Raven, it truly an honor. I really hope we could do this again for a little bit longer, but I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. I'll definitely do it again.